everyone, welcome back to Egypt. Egypt is undoubtedly considered one of the world's oldest nations. Egypt is not only the center of the Arab world, but also the crossroads between North Africa and the Middle East. As a land of an ancient civilization, Egypt has left a rich heritage to mankind and continues to dazzle the world with unique culture. In this session, we are going to talk about its uniqueness by exploring some well-known relics from Giza to Abyssinia. The Great Sphinx of Giza was the tallest stone statue ever built in ancient Egypt. Today, it still sits on the Giza Plateau in the outskirts of Cairo. Carved from limestone, the statue of the Great Sphinx has a lion's body and the peasant's head. The massive body of the Great Sphinx is about 73 meters long and 20 meters high. Its head is bigger than the head of the Statue of Liberty, and it towers 20 meters above the desert sand. The Great Sphinx has a gigantic body as long as a jumbo jet. Its huge paws stretch out longer than a city bus. The Great Sphinx is big in size, but not as big as the mysteries that surround it. Was it carved to look like a real person? Why was the statue built? And who built it? Let's figure out these questions one by one. Was it carved to look like a real person? The Sphinx first appeared in ancient Egyptian and Greek culture, in art and stories. The Sphinx always has a lion's body and a human's face. People wonder about the Great Sphinx face. Could it be Pharaoh Khafre? The Great Sphinx is surrounded by ruins that was once lavish temples built by the great Pharaoh Khafre. Many historians believe the statue was created during Pharaoh Khafre's reign. Originally, the statue had a beard and colored paint, but over thousands of years, the harsh desert wind has damaged some features of the statue's face. Many experts suspect the Great Sphinx is actually Pharaoh Khafre's face. That's because Khafre had a beard, and so did the statue. Why was the statue built? Many Egyptian temples and pyramids have Sphinx statues standing guard. The ancient Egyptians probably saw them as protectors. What's more, in ancient Egypt, the horizon was believed to be where the dead entered the afterlife. Perhaps the Great Sphinx was built there, facing east, to worship the sun, as well as to guard that sacred horizon. Or maybe it was built to honor the Pharaoh Khafre, a symbol of his awesome power. Who built the Great Sphinx? The Great Sphinx is situated in an ancient complex of temples and pyramids. While the nearby pyramids have clues about their builders, the Great Sphinx reveals almost no clues. Scientists think it was created by the same team that built one of the pyramids. But since these pyramids were built at different times, it's hard to know for sure which team that was. It seems that there aren't any definite answers to these questions. However, one fact is certain. The Great Sphinx is a monument of protection on the Giza Plateau. Giza shines like a beacon in the north of Egypt, while in the south of the country, there's another landmark known as Ab-Simbel. Egyptians celebrate a unique festival there. Let's find out more. According to ancient Egyptian mythology, the sun god is considered the most important deity for the ancient Egyptians. Celebrated at the biggest temple of the ancient world at Ab-Simbel. The Ab-Simbel Sun Festival is a biannual event that takes place at the magnificent temple of Ramses II. The Sun Festival is celebrated in February and October, when the sun rays reach the central chamber of the temple. On 2 days of every year, for a short period of time, the sun perfectly illuminates the inner section of the normally dark shrine. Unique architecture of the temple of Ramses II ensures that the temple's holy statues of Ra, the sun god, and Amun, the supreme god, are bathed in light. Only Ptah, the god of darkness, remains in the shadows. This event has been taking place for thousands of years. It is home to 2 treasured rock-cut temples, one dedicated to the pharaoh Ramses II, and the second dedicated to his wife, Queen Nefertari. Carved into sandstone cliffs, the temple complex is widely considered as one of Egypt's top attractions and an extraordinary example of ancient Egyptian architecture. A 20-meter-tall seated statue of Ramses II greets worshippers at the entrance of the temple, while inside, an even grander 33-meter-tall Ramses statue watches over the styles of Egypt. Ramses II was often known as Ramses the Great. He built numerous cities and temples and also led many successful military expeditions. He was originally buried in the Valley of the Kings, but the mummy of Ramses II now resides in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo for all to see. Speaking of mummies, let's look deeper into this ancient tradition. The ancient Egyptians used a unique method of treating dead bodies, which is called mummification. Using special processes, the Egyptians removed all moisture from the body, leaving only a dried form that would not easily decay. It was important in their religion to preserve the dead body in a form that was as lifelike as possible. The mummification was so successful that even today, visitors can still view the mummified bodies of ancient Egyptians. After death, the pharaohs of Egypt usually were mummified and buried in royal tombs. Members of the nobility and officials also often received the same treatment. Surprisingly, for religious reasons, some animals were also mummified. Baboons, cats, birds, and crocodiles were found mummified. Scientists believe ancient Egyptians may have mummified these creatures to represent Egyptian gods or as offerings to these gods. Every country is unique in its culture and customs. Egypt is exclusive for the great civilization extending deep into history and spreading far into future. I hope you now know Egypt better and deeper after this session. See you next time.